I forgot, start squeezing my glutes. This is way better. Do you think that's what your body knows to do? Who drives your glutes? Your feet. I'll show you. Place your hands on your glutes. We'll all look funny together. Now, if you're staying there, just relax. Do you feel any tension in your glutes? Probably not unless you're nervous about the person behind you, right? So now, I want you to pretend your feet are your hands. I want you to try to grab the ground with your feet as hard as you can. Grab, 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 grab. What's getting tight? Your glutes. Are your hamstrings tighter? Are your thighs tighter? What drives everything up to here? It's your glutes, it's your feet. So if we're not addressing and teaching people how to use your feet, we're not going to change the whole chain. Same thing in the upper body. Put your right arm out, so the thumb's up. Now if you just hold your arm there, you don't feel much tension either, right? Now I want you to squeeze your hand into a fist as hard as you can. Squeeze, squeeze. What happens to your body? What do you guys feel? Do you feel your lats? Okay? Try this. Turn your hand just this way. What happens to tension in your lat? It's gone, isn't it? So hand tension and position is important in your core, because guess what the lats are? They're a core muscle. All right, sit down, guys. Here's my foot. If I do it correctly, it starts to go up the lateral side of my leg, up through my hamstring, up through my glute, and then it does what? It actually crosses over and comes up all the way to the other side. So you are actually all connected, all of us, from head to toe. So if I have a foot problem, could I have a shoulder problem? Could I have a neck problem? Right? Resist. And Jamal's got some good strength, okay? Don't get too cocky yet. So, I'm just going to tap on your left hip, okay? So I'm just going to be annoying. My wife will tell you about that. She's very sympathetic. So this is not painful, but it's slightly annoying, right? No one likes their hip sort of bump. So I'm giving him just some easy light trauma. All right, that's enough, that's annoying. Let's try that right arm again. And I want you to resist. Now, for $100, I will fix him. No, just kidding. Go fix, he'll get better as we go there. But what happened? I just introduced, I didn't hurt him, right? I didn't hurt you. It's just like a little uncomfortable, this is what happened to that right arm. It got weak. This is why we don't train on machines, guys. This is why, because we have to work connected. Now I'm going to show you one more. I'm going to have Jamal lay down his stomach. Oh, this is the good part, right? Oh, yep, get to take a load off, stay for a while. Oh. Now, you want to see that lat glute connection, right? So if I ask Jamal to lift up his right leg for me, now I'm going to push down, okay? Yeah. You resist? Yeah. Okay, let's do that again. Resist. Jamal, I want you to resist this time, okay? Come on, let's go. Resist. 6 spinal surgeries this guy has.
It's for sure.
Okay. So if we did this test, what would we say is probably weak? Glutes and hamstrings, right? Let's see if that's actually the case. Because if I ask Jamal to bring this arm back, just keep it straight. Now I'm going to put pressure to your arm and your leg at the same time, okay? Let's come up and resist. Now he's strong. And here's the best part. He's laying on the ground, so he can't even use his core to the max, right? Thank you, sir. Don't worry, I'll make you better during the exercises. Thanks, brother. All right, this stuff all sounds cool, but then you see it in real life, you're like, holy crap. Like, that really happens. So, if we know a lot of people, you guys have clients like this? Oof, rough, right? So if we just create tension, we'll go having this mobility. A couple different ways we're creating that tension. Does that look a lot better? How many of us have been told you need to master your body weight before you add weight? It's bogus. That's with the assumption we're going to use load to challenge the movement. We're going to use load as a teaching tool. But first thing that changes everything, load does what to your body as soon as you grab it? Creates tension. Tension is how we're going to create stability. There's a reason. We're not doing a back row, we're creating tension. Last couple. Top one. Have you guys all seen something like that? We need to separate difficult from effective. Top one is difficult, just not very effective. What's the point of a bird dog? And we'll do it in a couple minutes. Is it to pull or is it to push? I'll give you guys another exercise to think about. Everyone done a push-up row of some sort? You're in a plank doing a push-up row? Is that you rowing or are you pushing exercise? Actually, a pushing exercise. Because the whole goal is to resist rotation, right? How do I resist rotation? I have to drive into the ground. That's what lets me lift the weight up. You're not lifting enough weight to make it a back exercise, are you? It's not a back exercise. It's a pushing exercise. We'll do planks in a couple minutes. Planks are a pushing exercise. A couple variations. So using the band around the feet for tension, the drag is to connect lat and glute. So we're about making connections. If you look at my hands, I'm trying to grab the ground as hard as I can. I'm trying, even though it's hard in these shoes, I should be barefoot to drive my ball on my foot. I can take away some leverage. This is not a rowing exercise. That's not very heavy for me to row. The hard part is keeping tension in the ground. Last couple. So top right, internal hip rotation. What do most people with low back pain lack? Internal hip rotation. Before exercise, after exercise. We can get position specific. So when you see this position, we're training his right internal rotation. What the hell is that? What's that exercise? That's weird. Why would that help his rotation or his mobility? We work in diagonals. If you go down P&F is about diagonal motions. When I lost the use of my right leg, therapists were doing this with my right leg. Why were they doing that? Diagonal patterns in my body. You work in opposites. That's how you create core stability. Stop with the abs. I'll end with this, and then we'll start doing. So last year I was at a conference in Chicago, had this woman like light up, her eyes got big. I'm like, oh, I hope that's a good sign, not a bad sign, like you just heard something. She's like, no, I'm super, super excited. She was in her 60s and she hadn't squatted in about 5 years because her knees hurt so bad. Her knees hurt so bad that her doctor told her she needed a knee replacement. So she wasn't supposed to do really any of this. I had her come up because she was so excited. Is that a pretty good squat? More importantly, it was a pain-free squat. We can talk about fat loss all we want. Fat loss is awesome. But here's the thing. Can people lose fat if they hurt all the time? They can't. Okay? Who will be your best client? Those that you help with pain. It mimics gait, right? It's our lowest gait pattern. Because why? Floor work is good because what do we do when we're on the floor? We eliminate gravity. Right? So if we're messing up on the floor, imagine what happens when we're standing up. So if you're a pretty fit person, you need load. If you don't give people enough load, it doesn't give them enough feedback. I know Mary's pretty strong. So this is important. We're going to grab the outside handles, and she's going to keep it over the stomach, not her chest. Now she's going to press the weight up, and she's going to try to rip the handles off the back. And you see how she's shaking already? What has she already activated? Lats and core. All right, relax for a second. So, no teacup hands, right? No loose hands. What did I tell her to do? Break the handles apart. Do you think clients can understand break handles apart? I don't want to see a saggy back. If you see a saggy back, it sounds like a personal problem, but that means we lose tension. But clients remember that. No saggy back. Pull apart, no saggy back. So let's have her come up. Now all she's got to do is hold that tension. She's going to bring her legs up, and she's going to slowly try to kick out one leg. While keep breaking, keep breaking, keep breaking, keep breaking, keep breaking. She's going to try to bring it to the ground without moving that leg. Back up. We'll do the other side. Break, 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 break. Awesome. And so we're just going to do about 3 each side of that speed. Now don't worry yet, you know that. So here's a big part. Reps have to match speed, right? Because if I say, I want you to go as slow as possible, and we're going to do 20 reps, guess what's going to happen to your speed? It's going to go up, right? But if I say, go really slow for 3, you can wrap around your head going for 3 reps, right? That sounds okay. So a pair is going to be working on that drill. The other pair is going to be working on a standing version. So now she's going to stand up. Oh no. So our progression is obviously more incremental than we're showing you today, but I want to open your mind. So we're going to do a dead bug basically standing. So I'm going to use the kettlebell in the rack position to create tension. So you can create a lot of tension in that kettlebell. So I'll let her hold that one. Now she's going to face me, unfortunately for her. She's going to grab the band. Now she's going to aim to row the weight in towards her lower part of her stomach, around her belly button. So let your arm extend. So as she does that, I want her to lift up her right leg like she's stepping. Pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. come down at the same time as you roll out. Okay? Let's do a couple, slow. So as much as you can, I want her to try to time them together. Ooh, ooh, ooh. She's like, I hate you already, Josh. Nice, and relax. So, what are we doing? Let's stay in dead bug, aren't we? Why am I making her do that outside just being mean to her? Thank you so much, Mary. So I'll pay back on that maybe later. When I lift up one leg, what happens to the other foot? It needs to drive down, right? So I'm teaching her not just to stay on one leg, but she needs to drive down. She needs to use that foot. When you do that, that fully extends your hip. So when I row, think about your plank. Take your plank and bring it down. That's where you are. If you're here, you're compensating, so you may have to work with the tension with your partner. So one group, each person's gonna go 3 reps. Break the bag, slow legs. Other group standing, about 5 reps, because it's a little easier. If you mess up the arm or leg, it doesn't matter. But we're gonna try to aim for opposites. 5 as slow as you can, all right? Let's try it, I'll come around. Go like this. It's pretty easy to do, right? Now, I want you to grab the ground, pushing your balls to your feet hard as you can. Now, try to move your pelvis as you keep pushing. You can you?
It's called bracing.
So, when Bob comes in and he does harder to try to lift up their fingers. And they try to lift up their fingers, what does she now do? She grips for the ground. This is a way to trick people, especially people that classically have knee pain when they lunge, right? So guys, get half kneeling with me, excuse me. As she can, as she's still pushing down, she's gonna slide this leg back into the wall behind me. And then she's gonna pull it back in, still grab, pull it back in. We'll do it one more time.
Opposite toe. It's all about grabbing and bracing.
Awesome. And relax, nice job. Whew. Don't go too far though. So that's drill number 1. So you're gonna do about 5 reps a side. Now, what am I looking for? I'm watching her upper body first. Because what people do is start they moving the lower body. They lose the upper body. All right? Again, for a lot of your clients, this feels like this. There's a lot going on. So you gotta make sure they keep tension. If you see this happen, they're losing stability at the lower body, or upper body. Then I'm watching this, you keep tension in both feet. So she keeps that nice tabletop. All right? If she starts to cave in her hips when she moves, what do I need to cue her to do? Come on, drive to the ground more, drive to the ground more, drive to the ground more. Just go after her fingers. Okay? I know what she's losing. Does that make sense? Second drill, we're gonna get her half kneeling. Oh, she knows what's coming. So, half kneeling is awesome. Because of those 7 movement patterns, which one usually scares people the most is lunging, isn't it? Most people go, ever go to a client and go, we're gonna lunge today, they're like, yes. No, right? Because most of your clients aren't lunging, they're what? They're falling. How many feet are you feeling? This is a way to trick people, especially people that classically have knee pain when they lunge, right? So guys, get half kneeling with me, excuse me. Forward. If I go back, most of my body stays over my center of mass, my base support, right? So going back is easier for people. Counterintuitive. So we're gonna be in this half kneeling position. The goal is to be pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Now what Mary's gonna do, she's gonna go half kneeling. Are you okay being on your knees? Now, if you're a guy, you're probably gonna use a red bag. Ladies, I'm gonna ask you to use a green bag. If you want to use a red bag, that's fine. So she's going half kneeling. I'm gonna have her go bring the bag to her shoulder. So bring one leg forward for me, my dear. Doesn't matter which side we start with. Now what she's gonna try to do is she's gonna try to actively break the bag apart. Now when she does that, what just happened to her shoulders? Tight. So she's gonna push down as she presses the weight over the crown of her head. Then right here, she's gonna stop and she's gonna try to break the bag apart and pull it. See how she's got more range of motion? Now pull down to the other side. See how slow she's going? This is the speed I want you to go. So we'll do one more time the other way. Break apart, pause, push down, pull down the other side. Woo, and relax for a second. Awesome job, Mary. Give her a hand for that. Now forward. If I go back, most of my body stays over my center of mass, my base support, right? So going back is easier for people. Counterintuitive. So we're gonna be in this half kneeling position. The goal is to be pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Now what Mary's gonna do, she's gonna go half kneeling. Are you okay being on your knees? Now, if you're a guy, you're probably gonna use a red bag. Ladies, I'm gonna ask you to use a green bag. If you want to use a red bag, that's fine. So she's going half kneeling. I'm gonna have her go bring the bag to her shoulder. So bring one leg forward for me, my dear. Doesn't matter which side we start with. Now what she's gonna try to do is she's gonna try to actively break the bag apart. Now when she does that, what just happened to her shoulders? Right? So she's gonna push down as she presses the weight over the crown of her head. And then right here, she's gonna stop and she's gonna try to break the bag apart and pull it. See how she's got more range of motion? Now pull down to the other side. See how slow she's going? This is the speed I want you to go. So we'll do one more time the other way. Break apart, pause, push down, pull down the other side. Woo! And relax for a second. Awesome job, Mary. Give her a hand for that.
Squat start
Grip
from
with
the
their feet.
ground.
So, if you guys stand up with me, our squat stance, I usually tell people pelvis and then one step out. You're gonna turn your feet slightly out. The reason we do that is as soon as you grab the ground, what do you notice your knees do? They kind of go out, don't they? And when they go out, what just became active? Your glutes did. All right? So, what are we normally taught how to squat? What's our cue? Sit back. Well, guess what happens when you do that with a client? Okay? And you just say it louder and slower, it doesn't get any better. So here's what I want you guys to focus on this time. Grab the ground with your feet, then I want you to keep grabbing as you push your knees out. When you get to the bottom of your squat, I want you to think about pushing through your feet and pushing your knees back out. Do about 3 reps that way, nice and slow, really slow. Think about feet, push your knees out, push your knees out, push your knees out, and push the feet, drive the knees out to come back up. We'll do it 2 more times, do 3 reps. Does that feel a little different? Do you feel less pressure on your knees? Okay, so that's half of that. Let's talk about the top half. There's one reason people fall over a lot is they don't have any core stability. So what we want to do is get that upper body active. So Mary, one more time. Oh, she's smart right there. So from where again? The ground. So this is not rotation. That's hurting your back. All right? Who here has ever done Russian twists? Whoever here did Russian twists stood up and said, my back feels awesome. Said no one ever. So your low back, your lumbar spine only has about 10 to 12 degrees of rotation to it. Not a lot. That's why it sits upon your hips to have like 60 degrees of internal and external rotation. So you need to move from here. Now, it's not easy, but you want to think about being a top that you spin. So you want to get in a soft, what we call athletic position, right? Feet wider than hips. And we're going to, again, use both feet. So I'm here. If you're here, you're never going to make it. So what I want to do is I want to drive into the ground with one foot. I grab here and see how I just turn my body. I'm like that top. I drive the heel down. Patterning one side at a time is what we want. So I want people to learn movement comes from the hip, not the lumbar spine. Now how are we going to do this? We want the upper body active too. So you may have to play with the band touch. You're going to get to abuse me this time. It's fun. I want to be low again, right? I want to almost be plank. So I'm going to go ahead, I can go ahead and pivot towards Mary, drive the heel down, and then I can go away from her. Pivot. And see, this is the speed I want you to do this at. Now, that's what happens when you get the big fat guy with you. So, what will your clients do? That. They'll do that. That's not rotation, that's dancing. Okay? It's hard. So, 2 cues that we use. Squish a bug, right? I think about squishing a bug. Or the less healthy, but everyone understands, put out a cigarette. Everyone's like, oh, I got that one. And start doing that, right? So, again, it comes from the feet. So one group, you're going to go ahead and do about 5 reps of your squats, nice and slow. I want you to do that 2 times because I want you to sort of learn the pattern. Second group, we're going to do the band rotations. If you need to get lighter bands, you can do. He's deaf too, so he's